If you can't focus anymore, this is why. Your brain is currently processing a volume of data it was never designed to handle. You sit down with a clear intention to work, but within 40 seconds, your hand reaches for your phone or your cursor drifts toward a new tab before you've even finished a single sentence. This movement happens on a subconscious level. It is an involuntary physical pull that hijacks your nervous system long before your logic can intervene. These constant lapses in attention are the predictable result of living in an environment engineered to exploit your biological reflexes for profit. 10 years ago, the baseline for your attention was relatively quiet. Today, you are navigating a hyper-stimulating digital landscape that demands your engagement every waking second. You didn't choose to be born into this digital crossfire, but you are the only person capable of navigating your way out of it. Modern life has systematically altered 3 specific psychological mechanisms. Until you understand how they were changed, focus will feel like an impossible uphill climb. Regaining control starts with identifying these 3 hacked mechanisms and manually resetting your cognitive baseline. The first mechanism concerns your brain's internal reward system. Continuous scrolling has conditioned you to expect hit after hit of instant, zero-effort gratification. This chart tracks your dopamine levels. A healthy baseline fluctuates gently, but when you spend hours on high-speed feeds, that baseline spikes into an elevated, jagged zone. Now, look at the gap between that digital high and the reality of daily work. Writing a report or reading a book provides a very slow, steady trickle of reward that sits far below your new expectations. This massive disparity creates profound mental friction. Real work feels sluggish and hollow because your receptors are waiting for a neurochemical hit that analog reality simply cannot provide. Resetting this requires a period of intentional, low stimulation. By spending 30 minutes a day without a screen or audio, allowing yourself to simply sit with your thoughts, you give your dopamine receptors the necessary time to recover their sensitivity. This recalibration is a very slow process, but until you lower that chemical baseline, deep work will remain a constant struggle against your own biology. The second mechanism is your perception of time. Short-form media is training you to think in fragments rather than flows. When you consume content in 15-second bursts, you overstimulate your novelty-seeking mechanism. Your brain begins to demand a complete change in context several times every minute. This habit follows you into your professional life. It creates constant restlessness, where you feel the need to check an email or switch tabs the moment a task gets difficult. Compare these 2 paths. The top track shows a fragmented mind, breaking hours of potential work into useless, tiny slivers. The bottom track represents the deliberate structure of a focused mind, built on solid, unbroken blocks of time. You rebuild the bottom track through single tasking. Choose one objective and stay with it for 20 minutes without a single context switch. You are training your brain's stamina to hold a single thought. Deep work is a neurological impossibility for a brain that has been conditioned to panic if it doesn't receive a new stimulus every few seconds. The third mechanism is the decay of your brain's resting state. We have effectively eliminated the concept of mental downtime. Notice your behavior in micro-moments of silence. Whether you're waiting for a coffee or an elevator, you likely fill that 5-second gap with a screen. Without these small windows of silence, your brain loses its background processing time. It can no longer organize information or file away the day's events. This lack of processing leads to overthinking interruptions. The second you finally try to focus on a task, your brain uses that sudden silence to dump a flood of unresolved thoughts and anxieties into your awareness. Think of your focus as a muscle. If you never allow it to experience silence or deep exertion, it will atrophy until it can no longer support the weight of a complex task. Without enforcing intentional downtime to let your mind breathe, you will lack the cognitive stamina required to achieve anything of significance. Your struggle to concentrate is the direct consequence of these 3 mechanisms operating exactly as they've been conditioned to. You can move from being a passive consumer to an active architect of your own attention. Reclaiming your mind starts with changing your environment. In an era where society is increasingly addicted to distraction, the ability to focus is the ultimate competitive advantage. Like, subscribe, and comment if you're ready to begin the process of taking your brain back from the algorithms. Treat focus as a deliberate skill that you must choose to sharpen every single day. The choice to pay attention is yours.